Module 4, Tutorial B, we are going to make a locator map, and it's going to be a Slippy map, definitely. I know the first tutorial still had kind of a Slippy map, pan and zoom. It's, you know, the difference is this will be run by tiles. So we'll go to New Visualization. Well, log into Flourish first, obviously, and then go to New Visualization. And now we see we have all these projection maps, right? Like you see, they're kind of making choropleth type maps. We don't want those. We got these 3D maps. I'm not really sure what all these are. I've never tried out most of those, but there might be something really good in there. But we want a marker map, right? Because we're going to be doing point locations, but we'll also do a region. So let's find custom pop-ups. We want to be able to control how what goes in the pop-up. So let's go ahead and select that one. And so, of course, I'm going to go up here and change the name to Locator Map to not leave it at unnamed visualization. And of course, Flourish always gives us kind of data to give us some wayfinding. So you see here, we've got actually 4 data sheets in this visualization. We have these locations, and these are going to be all your points. We've got categories. Categories would be for your icons, I guess. I'm going to go ahead and just delete those right away. We're not going to use those. You could use those if you really wanted to. Regions, inset map regions, right? We'll use those as we go along. But let's go back to locations and upload our data sheet. So we'll go find your data downloaded from Icon, and we'll take birds-spots.csv, upload that, import it, and then we'll select the columns, right? So let's see here. We need latitude and longitude, right? B is latitude, C is longitude. Marker, we don't have a marker. We're going to leave that blank. Name is A, that's right. Photo we don't have, I'm going to leave that blank. I would always make sure I take away anything that is, you know, kind of not there, because it can screw things up. And then, right, info for pop-ups. Let's say A, D, E. Those are our info we're going to wind up using in our pop-ups. Great. So let's go to preview. And nothing happened, right? So we'll just come down here and we will say viewport interaction, auto. I think I had this problem before. All I'm going to do is refresh the page, and that'll wake it up, right? And that just had it get to where our points are. What it's going to try to do is, see, we have this setting under viewport and interaction where initial viewport auto, it will try to show all of the points. So it's just a weird glitch that I've found when trying this out. But let's go back up to the top here in the properties and start using base map. So we're going to be using vector map tiles. My dog is coughing over there, coughing up a hairball. Now, we could do raster. I don't know how raster works with these. I guess you have to, I'm not sure what you have to do to enable raster, but we're just going to leave it on vector anyhow. Let's change our map style. As much as I like this look here, I'm going to go to OSM Bright, and I have a couple reasons for that. It's got some extra things going on. And then that's all we need for our base map. Let's go to viewport interaction. Actually, let's not. Let's figure out some things first. Let's decide what we're going to do. So right now we have all of our locations, but our locations could use map markers, right? So let's go down to markers, and here we could have set markers in the data, but we can go, if we want the same data for everything, we can use this default styles. So I'll just click this and I'll upload our location.png, right? And it'll put it in. And yeah, then we can play with the scale. Do we want it to be that? I'm going to change it to 0.3, make them a little bigger, more obvious. Although we'll be going into different zoom levels and stuff, as you'll see in a minute. So, okay, next thing I want to do is I'm going to go back to the data sheet, and I'm going to go to regions, and I'm going to upload data, and I'm going to upload johnsoncounty.geojson, hit import. We're going to select our columns. Our geometry is in A. Our value, it's required. It has to have a value. It really doesn't matter what you put here because we're not going to be using it. Category we will be using for something. So let's set that to just I for the name, right? That's the category. Info for pop-ups, we don't need anything. We're not going to have a pop-up. Let's go to, while we're there, let's go to inset map regions and do this too. And let's upload that exact same Johnson County because I have a plan here. So we're going to upload this Johnson County. There's only one row. It'll put it in A. That's great. Let's go back to preview. So here we have, now we can see Johnson County, and it's in this blue color here. So the first thing I want to do is go change that color. I'm going to go to regions. Now in our downloads, I give you a settings.txt. You can find the county color, right? We set our category to use the name. So let's, whoops, how did I get there? Let's go there, right? And let's make it this nice kind of half opaque green color. Okay, that's looking nice. I don't like all these lines. As we zoom in here, we start to see these lines of towns and things, which is something nice that this theme offers, this base map. But I think that's the one thing we can turn off. So let's go down here to customize, to base map, customize layers, and let's turn off borders. But let's actually turn on labels. That way we see the towns, like here's North Liberty, here's Solon, right? So that's kind of a nice feature there. As I look at the design, right, it's got this ugly line around the region. Let's go back down to region. When I was changing colors, I probably should have done that too. Let's turn off the region outlines. I think that just looks cheap. So there we go. That's looking really good. But where's our inset map? We uploaded an inset map. Well, we got to go find, we actually have to turn it on. So I'm going to close regions. I am going to find inset map on the right, and I'm just going to simply turn on display map. So that's cool. Now notice how, like, right, it shows us where we are in relation to Johnson County. What else have we got going on here? So let's go down, let's jump down to header, right? We'll put in a title. Top birding destinations in Johnson County, Iowa, right? And we could put text. We could say, you know, pan and zoom to explore, whatever we want to do. That's not super important right here. Footer, right? Let's look at the footer. Where did I get this data? The source name is eBird, and the source URL is https://ebird.org, right? And there we see our source eBird. That's nice. This is where I got some of the data. All right. How about these pop-ups? You just saw me mouse over a pop-up, and it's got, I don't know what going on there. Because this is a custom one, it comes kind of pre-populated. So let's go to pop-ups and panels. And you'll see here, it's using this, this kind of what's called like a handlebars templating. So if you notice, these are the names of the data columns. So what we need is to do name, right? So that'll be in the header. And so there it is right there. How about, can we design the header? If we go down to header style, header inline, let's say header block. There we go. That's a little nicer. We could change the color if we wanted to. We don't need to. Then let's go to our pop-up main content, right? So let's get rid of what they have there. So I'm going to write a B HTML tag that kind of stands for bold. It'll naturally be bold. And I'll put the handlebars species, handlebars, close my tag, go to the next line, start a paragraph tag, and I'll put in info. Right, so just make sure you have the same casing and everything as our thing. Oops, I got to put, instead of just species, let's also put species seen, right? And so now you'll see Coralville Lake, 216 species seen, and our info is that it has multiple trails. I really didn't break my back writing those infos, right? But you know, accessible content. If you had images, this is the place to kind of put some accessible type content there. We don't have any images, but you see here, you could write HTML in there. So you could do a bunch of things in your pop-up. You could load an image. You could load a video, and you just have to put these things in your data to get them loaded, right? So that looks pretty nice. As far as design, I think this is pretty great, except for one thing. Look how far I can go. Look, I'm in Illinois. We don't want someone going all the way out there. Plus, when it starts, I'm going to go ahead and just refresh this page because it'll go to the start position. Yeah, it shows all of Johnson, which I don't mind, and maybe that's actually better. But I'm gonna be zoomed in a little bit. So let's go handle some of that. Go to viewport and interaction in the right here. And we'll see, instead of auto for initial viewport, let's go to centroid. And in our settings document, you'll see our centroid. We have 41.75 as our latitude, negative 91.6 as our longitude, and we're going to set our zoom to 10, right? So here we're zoomed in more. We're kind of seeing most of the points that we have, cueing the person that they could, you know, kind of move around a little bit. But we still have that problem, right? We can go all the way to wherever we want to. Let's limit how far they can zoom and pan. And so we have our minimum zoom. Let's keep our minimum zoom at 10. Max at 20 is good. Let's click on limit viewport bounds. And let's change these settings I have for you. So the minimum viewport longitude, negative 92. The maximum longitude is negative 91.2. And then the minimum latitude, 41.4. And, whoops, the maximum latitude, 41.9. There we go. And now notice, look, when you pan around, you can't get farther than that, right? We can only zoom, we can zoom in as far as, you know, up to 20 zoom. That might even be too far, but we can only zoom out to about here, so we get some, right? We can't go too crazy here. Is 20 too much? Well, do we really need to get all this far in? Maybe we could change our max zoom too. Let's change it. What's 15? What does 15 have here? That's still pretty darn far, right? Let's go 14. Right? So that's good. 14 is a nice max zoom right there, right? And I'll even update that settings document when I'm done here. But that's it. That's all we need to do. Oops, I see one more thing. This will allow us to rotate the map in different ways. I don't know that they're going to need to do that. Let's turn that off. Whoops, what did I just click here? Limit viewport bounds. How do we turn that off? It's in the interaction somewhere in here. Allow rotation. We'll turn that off. Right? We'll just actually like go here. Now there is some other stuff, right? We can allow them to do full screen control, right? So if someone wanted to go into full screen mode, we could let them do that. That's up to you if you really wanted to do that. Geolocator control. I don't even see anything happening, so I don't even know what that is. We don't need that. So yeah, that's it. That's pretty much everything right there. How quick it was. It would take a lot longer, obviously, to write this with Leaflet or something similar, right? We could absolutely do it with Leaflet. We might have a little more control, but I think Flourish will get you there for about 90% of Slippy map, Locator map type projects. I also just want to talk about Data Wrapper for a second, because Data Wrapper also does Locator maps, except for it doesn't let them be a Slippy map, right? Here's one I just made as I was testing out this. But I think it is easier to make a more beautiful map, Locator map in Data Wrapper. It's not Slippy, but it still offers some like pop-ups. They're not great. Again, this is not as great for interactive type maps. It's more of a static map. And that is it. That is the tutorial. actually, that's not it. We forgot to embed it in tilde, right? So same thing as always. We have to go to export and publish, publish to share and embed, publish, grab our information, jump over to good old tilde, login, interactive storytelling, example page, go all the way down to the bottom, add a custom HTML block, edit the content. We're going to restrain it, right? So I'm going to go to div style equals max width. I'll say 900 pixels for whatever reason. Margin 0 auto. Paste our thing in there, save and close, publish, open page, and there it is. There is our top birding destinations in Johnson County, Iowa, embedded on our page, Slippy, Zoomy, and with custom pop-ups.